Imagine, for a moment, the profound sensation of waking up, not in the physical reality you know, but opening your eyes deep inside the boundless theater of your own dreams. Tonight, you are going to experience exactly what it feels like to achieve that astonishing state of sudden, electric awareness while your body remains fast asleep. You are about to acquire the profound ability to seize total command over the sprawling, infinite landscapes of your own dreamscape. You will find yourself floating effortlessly through the vast expanses of your subconscious. It does not matter if you are taking your very first steps into the fascinating realm of lucid dreaming, or if you are an experienced traveler who has attempted this delicate mental balancing act many times before. Right here, right now, you possess the innate, remarkable power to become completely conscious and vividly aware even as you surrender to deep slumber. So, I invite you to consciously grant yourself the absolute permission to sink softly into this experience. Allow yourself to embrace this transition without resistance, letting every single inhalation and exhalation serve as a gentle, rhythmic guide, pulling you further and further into tranquility. You hold the ability to completely detach from the waking world now. You can leave the stress, the noise, and the rigid obligations of the passing day far behind you. With graceful intention, you are slowly turning the handle and opening the massive, quiet door that leads directly into your own lush, expansive inner universe. And I consider it a profound privilege and an absolute honor to be the one welcoming you to this space tonight. I want to assure you right from the start, there are absolutely no prior requirements, no rigorous training, and no impossible prerequisites needed to engage in this transformative practice. This journey is incredibly accommodating. It will simply find you exactly where you currently reside, physically and mentally, in this very moment. Very shortly, you are going to embark upon a mesmerizing expedition through a sprawling, endless realm illuminated by countless stars. It is within this celestial expanse that a deeply tranquil, incredibly inspired adventure is about to reveal itself. This will not be a generic experience. It will be an adventure uniquely and completely tailored to the very essence of who you are. So, I ask you once more, allow your physical form and your busy thoughts to completely dissolve and melt into this welcoming atmosphere. With your very next exhalation, visualize any lingering skepticism, hesitation, or doubt physically leaving your body. Trust in the process and simply allow the steady cadence of my voice to act as your ultimate compass and guide. The foundation of stillness. We must commence this incredible voyage by dedicating our immediate focus to achieving profound physical tranquility. We must systematically calm the physical vessel. This is an essential law of this practice, because it is only when the biological body has completely powered down and surrendered its tension that the rapid, chaotic frequencies of the mind can truly begin to decelerate and find peace. And, crucially, it is only when the active, waking mind is fully relaxed and disarmed that it becomes sensitive and perceptive enough to recognize the delicate, shifting boundaries of the liminal space, that magical, elusive threshold hovering delicately between the act of dreaming and the state of being awake. Therefore, gently gather your wandering attention and direct it all the way down to the very base of your body. Focusing intently on the soles of your feet, begin to draw in a sequence of incredibly slow, deeply stabilizing breaths. With every inhalation inhalation you take, visualize the life-giving oxygen traveling like a slow wave, cascading all the way down through your legs and settling deeply into your toes. And as that breath turns into an exhalation, feel the rigid structures of your mind begin to blur and soften, while your feet feel as though they are physically melting down into the very space beneath them. Speak to your feet silently, giving them the ultimate permission to unburden themselves, to drop the heavy weight of the entire day that has passed. Feel them dissolving into the absolute safety, comfort, and unwavering support that this singular, isolated moment provides. Now, allow that warm, heavy awareness to slowly travel upward, settling directly into the complex joints of your ankles. Consciously invite these crucial hinges to loosen, to let go of their constant waking duties. Let this calming presence continue its upward drift, sweeping smoothly through the thick muscles of your calves. Pay close attention to the specific physical sensation of these muscles, unwinding, lengthening, and finally letting go of their tight grip. You can actually feel your lower extremities growing noticeably denser and heavier, as if they are acting as powerful anchors sinking deep into the solid earth far below your bed. Draw another luxuriously slow, tender breath, this time directing the energy of that air straight into your kneecaps and the surrounding ligaments, asking them politely to release and relax, gently and without any force. Continue to pull that warm attention higher, sensing deeply into the large, powerful muscles of your quadriceps and your hamstrings. Deliberately surrender these massive physical engines to the slow, hypnotic rhythm of your deep breathing. Recognize just how incredibly heavy your legs have become now. Feel the sheer weight of them as they give up all physical effort. They are surrendering completely. They are abandoning all forward striving. All need to move, all need to carry you anywhere in the waking world. Rising through the core. Direct a fresh series of deliberate breaths squarely into the basin of your pelvis and your hips. With every breath that leaves your body, visualize any trapped physical tension or emotional stress completely dissolving and evaporating into the surrounding air. Feel your tailbone pressing down, anchoring itself firmly and securely into the soft mattress beneath you, and extending its imaginary roots deep down into the very crust of the earth itself, plunging even beneath that. As you continue to respire in this smooth, effortless manner, notice how your stomach rises with the intake of air and falls away naturally with the exhaust. You are no longer consciously forcing the air deeply into your lungs. Instead, you are acting as a passive observer, merely allowing the vital breath to flow according to its own organic intelligence. This natural rhythm is casting gentle, expanding ripples of pure relaxation that travel continually down to bathe your lower abdomen in calmness. Moving meticulously, inch by literal inch, your conscious awareness begins a slow, majestic ascent directly up the column of your spine. As it climbs, it interacts with the intricate wiring of your nervous system, granting every nerve ending the ultimate permission to shut off and surrender its guard completely. Very shortly, this upward journey arrives right at the very center of your chest. Here, we ask you to take a meaningful pause. Breathe deliberately into the warm space around your beating heart and exhale slowly out from it. Take this quiet, sacred time to truly honor the vital organ in your chest. Honor the secret visions, the unspoken dreams, and the quiet, persistent desires that reside within it. Tonight, under the cover of darkness, there is an infinite amount of space for every single one of those desires to break free and come vividly to life within a personalized dreamscape that belongs entirely and exclusively to you. But for this moment, your focused attention must continue its journey, moving upward past your heart and rippling outward across the horizontal span of your collarbones. It descends gracefully, landing like a soft weight upon the dense muscles of your shoulders, softly instructing them to droop, to melt away, and to let go of their burdens with total finality. Your shoulders yield without a fight, triggering a cascading waterfall of release that flows like warm liquid all the way down the length of your arms until it reaches the very tips of your fingers. Your biceps and triceps relax completely. The complex joints of your elbows soften and unlock. Your forearms and your wrists lose all their tension, melting directly into the supportive fabric of the mattress. Finally, your hands completely unravel. Every single finger unclenches, entirely abandoning whatever tight grip they may have been unconsciously maintaining on the events of yesterday or the anxieties of tomorrow. Surrender. Surrender entirely. Surrender, allow your arms and your open hands to surrender at the deepest possible level. The mind's release. Once the arms are dormant, your awareness smoothly retracts, flowing slowly back up the path of your shoulders. It traverses the collarbones once again, before finally coming to rest for a deep, concentrated breath within the column of your neck. Any residual tightness clinging to these supportive muscles simply vanishes, dissolving into the ether as your jaw naturally, almost imperceptibly, slacks and abandons its clenched grip. Now invite this profound, tranquil, and deeply peaceful energy to wash completely across the landscape of your entire face. The muscle of your tongue falls away from the roof of your mouth, relaxing. The flesh of your cheeks becomes incredibly soft and slack. Every micro-expression, every crease, and every ounce of tightness gathered inside or spanning across your forehead is instantly smoothed out and released. Your internal mind and your exterior facial muscles all melt uniformly into the welcoming plushness of the pillow cradling your head. Take a moment to fully register the sensation of your entire physical body as it lies completely dormant here. Acknowledge just how incredibly heavy and utterly relaxed this biological shell has become. And yet, in the exact same moment, try to sense the diametrically opposed sensation building within you, a rapidly expanding, effervescent lightness that is beginning to flood your conscious mind. This mental energy is so weightless, so incredibly unburdened, that it genuinely feels as though your consciousness is hovering gently, floating just a few inches above your physical form. You are hovering in a transitional void, a mysterious, undefined location that exists neither completely here in reality nor entirely there in the dream world. Crossing the threshold. You are officially crossing the border into the liminal space right now. This is the highly coveted, transitional twilight state that bridges the gap between total wakefulness and deep sleep. A realm where you suddenly possess absolute, undisputed control over the unbelievable journey you are about to undertake. And yet, the great paradox of this place is that mastering it requires absolutely no physical force and zero mental strain. This entire experience is fundamentally an exercise in deep surrender, an act of simply permitting your fluid mind to drift and flow where it naturally wishes. But simultaneously, you must remember that you are firmly holding the reins. You possess the supreme authority to sculpt and mold this rapidly unfurling dreamscape so that it becomes completely, uniquely your own creation. Begin to deeply attune your focus toward the center of your mind's eye, a dark canvas that is now slowly, beautifully beginning to populate with pinpricks of brilliant starlight. You find yourself gazing out into a dimensional space that seems to stretch outward into pure, unending infinity. In this place, the rigid, logical borders that typically separate tangible reality from pure imagination are remarkably loose and permeable. Here, surrounded by the cosmos, you feel fundamentally calm, completely unburdened by gravity, and fundamentally supported by the vast architecture of the universe itself. Draw in a few magnificent, expansive breaths as you witness this majestic liminal realm growing and expanding inside your own consciousness. It has transformed into a spectacular starlit sanctuary, a sacred middle ground hovering perfectly balanced between this mortal world and whatever vast realm comes next. In this celestial haven, you feel overwhelmingly safe, deeply supported by unseen forces, and entirely serene in your existence. Your conscious awareness continues to drift on unseen currents, floating higher and ever higher, moving further away from the dense anchor of your sleeping body. You are drifting directly into the swirling, majestic heart of a spectacular, entirely untouched galaxy. Massive, radiant nebulas glow fiercely in the distant blackness. You see colossal, sweeping cosmic clouds illuminated in shocking, vibrant hues of neon pink and burning orange. Strange, beautiful planets, silent orbiting moons, and an uncountable multitude of ancient stars are all shining with radiant intensity. It serves as a breathtaking visual reminder of just how profoundly enchanted, how deeply mysterious this vast universe and the limitless depths of your own inner consciousness truly is. The golden pathway of manifestation. Now, out of the dark, silent vacuum of space, I want you to imagine a spectacular, glowing golden pathway spontaneously materializing directly out of thin air. This luminous, sparkling trail is the precise pathway that is going to actively lead you forward on your highly personal, uniquely tailored journey through fields of lucid, brilliant imagery. Vividly picture your ethereal self slowly descending, your feet gently touching down upon the surface of that radiant golden pathway. Dedicate your focus to truly feeling, truly noticing what that mysterious surface actually feels like as it presses up against the soles of your feet. To enhance this sensation, you might want to specifically imagine that your feet are entirely bare, stripping away any barriers to deepen your mind's capacity to accurately sense or vividly invent the distinct texture and physical feedback of that incredible pathway. Pay close attention to the environmental data. Does the surface radiate a comforting, radiant warmth, or does it emit a crisp, refreshing coolness? Does the structure beneath you feel rigid and unyielding, or is it soft and forgiving under your weight? Does it feel like a single, solid sheet of smooth matter, or does it shift like granular, golden sand beneath your step? Allow yourself to feel the sensation of gliding, of floating effortlessly forward along this glowing trail, traveling deeper and deeper into the very heart of the liminal space. You are walking directly into the center of a fully lucid, brightly waking dream. As you propel yourself through the vastness of deep space, you must recognize a fundamental law of this reality. Take careful note that every single fleeting thought that crosses your mind will instantly and subtly alter the visual environment that is currently unfolding directly in front of you. You must consciously acknowledge and accept that you hold the ultimate power to dictate and direct the flow of your own thoughts. Let us take a brief moment to actively experiment and play with this incredible concept. Deliberately summon a specific, focus thought into your mind right now. Think to yourself, the pathway is glowing brighter now. Repeat the command, the pathway is glowing brighter. Now, stand back and observe in awe as the literal luminosity of the golden trail, situated directly beneath your feet, responds to your will, surging and growing significantly more radiant and blindingly bright. Let us try another manifestation. Now, concentrate deeply and summon the thought, shooting stars surround me. Command the universe, shooting stars surround me. Look around and watch in amazement as they instantaneously blink into existence. Countless streaks of light, appearing like glistening, flawless diamonds, are suddenly darting and streaking wildly against the endless backdrop of a velvet midnight sky. You undeniably possess the godlike power to instantly manifest the physical reality of this dream space. You can conjure the deepest, most profound desires hidden within your heart into perfect three-dimensional existence. And you can achieve this monumental feat simply by holding the thought of them in your mind. So, as you continue to walk gracefully along this glowing golden highway that cuts directly through the fabric of the universe, you will begin to notice changes. Various ornate doors, acting as gateways to entirely different realms or distant exotic planets, will slowly begin to materialize along the edges of your path. Every single door that catches your eye, glittering brilliantly in hues of solid gold, serves as an active, waiting portal directly to whatever experience, emotion, or adventure you have desperately longed to feel within the confines of a dream, surrendering to the heart's desire. But as you approach these golden gateways, you must remember the golden rule. This entire process is absolutely not about wrestling with your mind or violently forcing yourself to visualize or experience any specific scenario. Once again, this journey is defined by the gentle, yielding process of total surrender. You must willingly surrender the loud, demanding voice of your conscious mind, handing over the reins to the ancient wisdom and the quiet, desperate yearnings of your emotional heart. When you do this, the spectacular, vivid imagery that accurately reflects your absolute highest, most pure intentions will organically and naturally begin to unfurl all around you. Therefore, take another moment to consciously soften the rigid, superficial exterior layers of your analytical mind, letting them slough away with every outward breath you take as you deeply, perfectly tune the dial of your awareness inward toward the center of your heart. Ask it directly, what is it that it would truly, deeply love to experience within the safety of a lucid dream? What kind of inexplicable magic, what kind of overwhelming, beautiful abundance does it desperately want to walk through and feel? As you finally make the choice to step off the path and move forward through one of those glittering golden doorways, the transition will be seamless. You will instantly emerge on the other side, finding yourself standing in incredible places that possess the unique power to make your deepest heart and your absolute highest, most evolved mind come vibrantly, electrifyingly alive. You are free to travel through these realms entirely at your own preferred pace. Simply let your deep internal wisdom take the lead, completely and intuitively guiding the magnificent imagery that follows. Take all the time you need to deeply and thoroughly explore this incredibly soft, gentle dreamscape in absolutely any manner that you prefer to engage with it. You are the supreme architect here, which means it is an environment absolutely overflowing with profound wonder, a sanctuary where the physical laws of reality bend to your will. Notice how the subtle movements around you are exceptionally slow, deliberate, and deeply calming. Within this sprawling mental horizon, the sheer possibilities of what you can do, see, or become are genuinely, wonderfully endless. Rest assured that absolutely every single element that exists within this space is inherently positive, deeply supportive, and profoundly peaceful. Grant yourself the beautiful permission to allow every individual dream and passing scenario to be unbelievably sweet to your senses. Let this rich internal environment actively nurture, feed, and coax out something incredibly inspired and profoundly beautiful from deep within your own soul. As you navigate this celestial terrain, remember that you possess the absolute freedom to actively move directly into and right back out of these shimmering realms as frequently and rapidly as you might like. There is absolutely no rigid script here, and there is absolutely nothing that this specific experience is strictly supposed to look or feel like. It is entirely fluid and subjective. For instance, you might decide that you simply wish to witness yourself gently, weightlessly floating through the infinite expanse of the dark, starlit cosmos. In this state, you can choose to remain completely and utterly untethered from anything that feels dense, tangible, or remotely connected to the heavy earthly plane. Alternatively, you might choose to take bold, deliberate steps directly through those glowing golden portals, transporting yourself instantly into the vivid, living embodiment of your most fully realized personal aspirations. You can physically step into high-definition, breathing visions of your ultimate, lifelong dreams rapidly and flawlessly coming true right before your very eyes. Your journey might quietly reveal that you suddenly find yourself comfortably resting on the warm sands of your absolute favorite beach just as the dusk settles, watching the sun dip below the painted horizon. Or perhaps you will find yourself seated quietly, deeply meditating within the ancient, hallowed walls of a secluded, silent Himalayan temple nestled high in the snowy peaks. Maybe, in this boundless realm, you will suddenly discover that you find yourself capable of wielding some extraordinary, entirely magical gift that defies mortal physics. You might suddenly possess the unbelievable ability to dive deep and breathe flawlessly perfectly underwater. Or you might find yourself launching into the sky, possessing the incredible power to soar and fly through the clouds exactly like a majestic eagle. I encourage you to let your unfolding dreams be as wonderfully simple or as intricately enchanted as you personally desire them to be in this very moment. The only crucial thing is actively remembering that you are sitting comfortably in the driver's seat. You are in full, undisputed control of the narrative. Whenever you feel the need, you can always seek out and easily find your secure footing right back on that familiar, glowing golden pathway at any given point in time. Should you choose to do so, you can even direct your conscious awareness to gently pull back, returning softly and seamlessly to your quiet, resting physical body lying in your bed. Always remember to do absolutely whatever it is you need to do in order to best support your own comfort, smoothly and effortlessly moving your awareness into and out of the fluid dreamscape as frequently as your mind and body demand it. As you wander, I strongly invite you to continuously circle back to a profound sense of pure curiosity as often as it is mentally possible for you to do so. Work deliberately on actively cultivating an overwhelming sense of innocent, childlike wonder as you continue your long, winding journey through this spectacular internal universe. Seek out and locate that delicate, perfect balancing point hovering gently right between the act of actively, consciously creating your surroundings and the act of passively, receptively absorbing whatever the dream naturally presents to you. And as you continue to travel further and deeper along these cosmic roads, remember to take a deliberate pause from time to time to silently question your reality. Stop, look around, and genuinely ask yourself the fundamental question: am I truly awake in this moment? Or am I currently dreaming? Ask it again, letting the weight of the inquiry settle deeply into your consciousness. Am I actually awake right now? Or am I lost inside a dream? As you present this profound query to your own mind, you might discover that sometimes the definitive answer is not entirely obvious or totally clear to you. You might realize that you are magically suspended in a bizarre, beautiful, liminal space that hovers perfectly between the deep, heavy pull of slumber and the sharp clarity of total wakefulness. And if that is the case, please know that is completely, wonderfully okay. The factual answer to the question actually isn't nearly as important or as powerful as the sheer act of asking the question itself. The more frequently and deliberately you ask yourself this specific question with clear, conscious intent while you are drifting, the significantly more likely you will be to organically stop and ask yourself that very same question later, when you are fully submerged deep within an intense, sleeping dream. Take a long, careful look around right now and truly notice exactly where you currently find yourself standing or floating within the expanse of your mind. Begin paying very close, hyper-focused attention to the specific ambient sounds echoing through the empty space around you. Pay attention to the vibrant, shifting spectrum of colors painting the environment and to the various, bizarre, or beautiful life forms that might inhabit this place alongside you. Take note of your social state. Are you exploring this vastness entirely alone? Or do you find yourself wrapped in the warm, comforting presence of incredibly good company? Are you currently standing in a physical location that you know intimately well from your waking, everyday life? Or are you wandering through a breathtaking, alien landscape that you have only ever dared to imagine in your wildest fantasies? Wherever it is you find yourself standing right now, I want you to deliberately take a profound moment to look closely down at your own physical hands. Hold them up in front of your face and visually trace every single intricate line and subtle groove that runs along the soft surface of your palm. And then, shift your focus to carefully examine the shape and texture of each and every one of your individual fingernails. This is a powerful grounding technique. The much closer you allow yourself to get to deeply examining the microscopic, minute details of this specific dreamscape, the significantly more it solidifies and completely stabilizes the environment around you. The clearer the visual data becomes, the exponentially more lucid and robustly awake you ultimately become from right within the dream itself. Now, gently check back in with the rhythmic beating of your emotional heart, turning your attention inward once more to ask yourself another vital question. Is there anything else, some other specific feeling, event, or revelation that I deeply, truly want to experience within the safety of this moving, beautifully dreamlike meditation? What exactly would the absolute fullest, most vibrant, and most highly evolved version of myself actually want to actively do right now? What profound thing would that version of me want to deeply experience, or simply effortlessly be? Whenever you feel that subtle internal calling, simply locate the familiar, glowing golden pathway, winding beautifully through the distant stars once again. Step confidently onto it, and allow it to gently carry you directly toward yet another magnificent doorway composed of brilliant, shimmering light. Do not hesitate. Step boldly right through that luminous portal and explicitly allow yourself to deeply, genuinely experience whatever mysterious force or vision is actively calling out to your soul. Give yourself the ultimate permission to immerse yourself in whatever specific environment deeply nourishes your spirit, effectively soothes your anxieties, and profoundly inspires your creative mind. However, please remember that it is also completely perfectly okay if your only desire right now is just to stay exactly where you currently are, choosing to simply keep peacefully floating in the silent void. You possess the absolute right to completely tune out the sound of my vocal guidance at absolutely any given time during this journey. You can confidently choose to just do whatever specific action or non-action you feel deeply, intuitively called from within to do. The words I am speaking to you tonight are merely gentle, open invitations. They are absolutely not rigid, mandatory instructions that you are forced to follow. Wherever your consciousness happens to be stationed right in this exact moment, try your absolute hardest to stay incredibly close to the fine sensory details of the immediate experience. Actively tap into your visionary sense of sight, deliberately noticing all the tiny, beautiful, small details, the geometric shapes, and the complex, woven textures of the objects surrounding you. Then, pivot your awareness to deeply tune into your auditory sense of sound and the sharp, evocative sense of smell that permeates the dream air. Pay careful, deliberate notice to exactly what this specific, magical place genuinely feels like as a physical sensation reverberating throughout your own body. Feel it deeply in the center of your heart. Feel it resonating deep within the marrow of your bones. Sense the specific tactile feedback pressing up from right beneath the very soles of your imagined feet. And to take it even further, maybe even try to deliberately notice what this rich environment actually tastes like on your tongue. I want you to vividly imagine the crisp, satisfying sensation of biting directly into a fresh, perfectly ripe apple, or perhaps the luxurious, melting texture of a rich, dense piece of decadent dark chocolate. Focus intensely on that fabricated sensory input, and then once more, loudly and clearly ask yourself, am I currently awake, or am I simply dreaming this entire experience? In this profound depth of consciousness, the rigid, linear concept of time completely slips away from your grasp. Right here, in this sacred internal void, all of those limiting waking world stories about what is supposedly possible or impossible simply melt entirely away into nothingness. You begin to realize with striking clarity that your own vast, sprawling inner world is incredibly, intensely alive, and it is fundamentally endless in its scope. There is absolutely no shortage of bizarre, beautiful, and profound places for you to visit and explore. There is absolutely no definitive end to the staggering variety of vivid emotional experiences you could potentially have while wandering here. And yet, despite this overwhelming abundance, you must also recognize that you absolutely do not have to desperately chase after anything while you reside here in the dreamscape. Rushing around to collect more and more fleeting experiences is absolutely not necessarily any better than fully immersing yourself deeply and completely into just one singular, really good, profound experience. Deliberately let your astral self move slowly and deliberately through as many or as comfortably few distinct places and altered states of being as you personally wish to encounter. And throughout this entire remarkable journey, maintain the crucial goal of remaining fully, completely aware of exactly what is happening around you at all times. Stay fully, acutely aware of precisely how it feels, radiating deep in the absolute depth of your own being, to simply exist and be fully present right here in this impossible place. Your bright, shining consciousness is now steadily moving right along the very bleeding edge of raw universal creation. You are gliding forward effortlessly, much as if you were an expert surfer perfectly balancing and riding the cresting lip of a massive, cosmic ocean wave. The very fabric of the present moment is constantly, dynamically unfolding and generating itself mere inches in front of you, and you are sitting there wide, perfectly awake to witness it all happen. You are beautifully, remarkably wide awake right smack in the middle of a profound, sleeping dream. In order to solidly reaffirm this incredible, magical potential for yourself, I want you to quietly, internally repeat a powerful mantra. Tell yourself, when I dream, I possess the absolute knowledge that I am, in fact, dreaming. Repeat it once more, letting it echo through your mind. When I finally fall into a deep dream, I will absolutely know that I am actively dreaming. After planting that seed, simply continue to let yourself float freely and weightlessly through the beautiful, unending darkness. Trust deeply in the process, knowing that each individual, passing thought you have is actively paving the solid ground for the very next consecutive moment to arrive. You are expertly surfing the very crest of the rolling white wave of your own consciousness. Now, as we slowly begin the process of preparation for the much deeper, more profound state of dreaming that will inevitably wash over you completely through the mechanism of sleep, we must take a specific action. You can use this quiet, focused moment to deliberately identify and select a personal dream sign. This is a specific, chosen visual anchor, one that you can actively train your mind to specifically look out for when you are finally submerged deep in total slumber. Understand that a personal dream sign could literally be absolutely anything your mind naturally gravitates toward. It might manifest as a massive, impossibly luminous, glowing full moon hanging low in the sky. It could be the delicate image of a single, soft feather continuously floating gracefully on an unseen breeze, or perhaps the striking visual of a large, remarkably bright blue butterfly fluttering past your field of vision. Choose something simple, something that you can easily and vividly visualize in your mind right now in this very moment, and that you can intentionally program yourself to look for in all of the countless mysterious dreams that are yet to come your way tonight. This specific symbol acts as a powerful, built-in psychological cue. It is a trigger designed to prompt you to pause your dream, check in with your immediate surroundings, and consciously ask the question, am I currently awake, or am I deeply dreaming? As you search for this symbol, simply follow the natural progression of your thoughts lightly and easily, completely avoiding the trap of severely overthinking this simple notion of selecting a dream sign. Simply allow your intuition to guide you. Identify exactly whatever natural image or symbol is effortlessly coming up for you right now, and then actively watch it beautifully manifest and take physical form directly in the empty space right before your eyes. Once the image is clear in your mind's eye, I want you to silently, firmly repeat this commitment to yourself. Whenever I see this specific dream sign appear, I will immediately pause and ask myself if I am currently dreaming. Say it again to lock it in. When I clearly see this dream sign in front of me, I will consciously ask if I am lost inside a dream, with that intention set. Simply continue to allow your beautiful, entirely unique experience to naturally unfold exactly as it naturally wishes to. You might spend some time just marveling at the glowing beauty of your chosen dream sign for a while longer, letting it burn itself into your memory. Or you might find yourself letting go of it, allowing some totally different, unexpected scenario to organically unfold in its place. And as you begin to slowly, inevitably inch your way closer and closer toward the heavy, welcoming embrace of actual physical sleep, begin to consciously soften the intensity and the degree to which you are actively, forcefully trying to construct and create the imagery around you. Instead of building, simply let yourself effortlessly bloat and float along the gentle currents, maintaining your full, total awareness of the unfolding experience without needing to control it. Remember always that you are completely free to just let go and drift completely off into deep, restorative sleep at absolutely any time you wish. But until that heavy wave of slumber finally comes to claim you, consciously continue to let your vibrant, floating self easily travel far and wide through these endless, magnificent internal worlds. In this boundless expanse of the subconscious mind, there truly is no absolute beginning. There is absolutely no definitive end, and there is certainly no restrictive limit to what can occur. You are entirely free to explore and experience absolutely anything and everything that brings your heart profound, pure joy and radiant positivity. It does not matter however mundane, wonderfully simple, or extravagantly grand that specific experience may be. As you drift, you must deeply recognize and appreciate that wherever it is you currently are, wherever it is you have previously been wandering during this session, and wherever it is you are ultimately going to end up, your personal internal journey is entirely, spectacularly unique to you and you alone. Absolutely no one else in the entire history of the world will ever have the exact same series of visions, emotions, and vivid dreams that you are uniquely generating right now. Every single one of us is busy constructing and following our own very distinct, deeply personal golden paths through the vast architecture of the mind. So, as you travel further down your own radiant path, deliberately allow all of your internal perceptive senses to come significantly more alive and finely tuned than they have been during the entire duration of this incredible journey thus far. Allow yourself to feel the shifting energies deeply and intensely. Push your mind's eye to see the spectacular colors and sharp shapes clearly and without blur. Stretch your awareness to hear the subtle ambient frequencies fully and without obstruction. Inhale deeply to smell the distinct atmospheric odors broadly and richly. And, if you choose, reach out to taste the very essence of the dream with absolute, unwavering full presence. Consume and taste the absolute fullness, the incredible, sprawling richness of this entirely fabricated, yet intensely real, cognitive experience. You can actively feel your busy, waking mind finally starting to surrender, slowly and beautifully drifting away into the soft fog. Your core consciousness is now becoming fully, completely absorbed and wonderfully entrenched within this vast, ever-shifting, ever-unfolding landscape of the dreamscape. Allow yourself to comfortably, patiently linger inside the warm, inviting imagery and the profound physical sensations that actively make you feel overwhelmingly, vibrantly, fully alive, and remarkably, deeply present in the moment. Never forget that you have absolute, total, full permission to simply exist and be exactly right here in this magical space. You have full, unwavering permission to eagerly soak up every single drop of this profound experience like a dry sponge in deep water. Now, as the edges of your vision begin to blur with impending sleep, I want you to gently, casually come right back to that central anchoring question once more. Quietly whisper it to the silent cosmos. Am I truly awake right now? Or am I currently dreaming all of this? Ask it again, letting the words hang in the air. Am I actually awake and awake in reality? Or am I deeply dreaming? Take a very deliberate moment to look around and genuinely notice just how incredibly sharp, how deeply, profoundly lucid and aware you are while floating right here in this space. And yet, even as you take in this profound level of clarity, you must simultaneously recognize just how distinctly different this extraordinary sensation is from your standard, everyday waking state of reality. You are no longer tethered to the dense, predictable world you navigate during the day. Instead, you are currently drifting, completely unburdened and free, through a spectacular, boundless realm comprised entirely of infinite, breathtaking possibilities. You are moving fluidly through a purely dreamlike plane of existence, an alternate frequency of consciousness that lives, breathes, and thrives exclusively within this magical, elusive liminal space that hovers between two worlds. As time stretches out, with every single passing cycle of your breathing, you can feel that you are organically and naturally growing increasingly, deeply tired. The biological weight of the evening is settling in, and your conscious mind is now drawing very near to the point where it is entirely ready to yield and surrender completely to the dark, comforting embrace of the night. It is within this impending, deep slumber that your newly cultivated sense of lucidity can actively follow you, sinking down beneath the surface to guide you through the dark. Therefore, I want you to take these next few precious final moments to deliberately envision any specific internal journey you are currently engaged in, slowly and beautifully coming to a natural, satisfying completion. Gently begin to redirect your internal compass, actively finding your way back to that familiar, radiant golden trail that so elegantly weaves its way through the vast, starlit architecture of the universe. As you finally arrive back upon the surface of that glowing celestial pathway, allow your astral gaze to wander upward one last time, taking a moment to visually trace the ancient, glowing constellations mapped out across the velvet sky above you. And perhaps just one final time before you descend, you can cast your eyes outward to catch a deliberate, intentional sight of your chosen personal dream sign. See it clearly, lock on to that specific defining image that is ultimately going to act as the powerful psychological trigger, the prompt that will spark instant lucidity in all the mysterious dreams that are destined to come to you later tonight. Now, visualize that brilliant golden pathway beginning to angle downward, continuing to weave its majestic way directly back down toward the dense, gravitational pull of the Earth. It carves a safe, illuminated route completely through this wide-open, incredibly luminous and entirely lucid spatial environment. We will now begin a slow, grounding descent. 5. Feel your consciousness beginning to lower, sinking heavier into the atmosphere. 4. the celestial lights start to dim slightly as the density of the physical world reaches out to catch you. 3. You are drifting closer and closer to the exact coordinates of your resting physical form. 2. The transition is almost complete. The boundaries between the astral and the physical begin to merge. 1. You are now perfectly, completely back inside the familiar confines of your physical body. Take a moment to fully register the tactile sensation of the soft pillow pressing up comfortably beneath the weight of your head. Shift your awareness to genuinely feel the vast supportive surface of the entire bed resting solidly beneath the full length of your heavy body. Tune in to the subtle rhythmic mechanics of your biology. Actively feel the gentle, automated way that your physical body is steadily breathing all on its own. Recognize how your system is being deeply nourished and replenished by every single gentle inhalation of fresh oxygen. Feel how your muscles are continuously, sequentially relaxing and letting go with every single gentle exhalation of breath that leaves your lungs. In this very moment, lying in the dark, you are completely, undeniably, and fully aware of your existence. You feel incredibly, vibrantly alive, and you are now flawlessly, perfectly prepped and primed to achieve pure lucidity once you finally cross over into deep sleep. Absolutely all that is fundamentally required of you now is to perform one final, profound act of total surrender. You must completely give yourself over into absolute trust. You must surrender into a state of total, vulnerable openness, yielding entirely to the quiet, ancient, and profound intelligence that governs your remarkable dreaming mind. To facilitate this final transition, I invite you to slowly draw your focused attention all the way up to the very absolute crown of your head for one final, targeted sweep. Tonight, as you rest here, I want you to deliberately invite a vast, cosmic current of pure ease and profound relaxation to descend upon you. Allow this soothing, subtle, glowing luminosity to pour downward, completely filling this space at the very top of your head. Permit this warm, radiant energy to slowly cascade downward to physically feel and coat the entire expanse of your forehead. Let it gently branch outward, moving softly to swirl and pool around the sensitive areas of your temples. And as this warm, heavy current washes over your mind, allow it to quietly, intimately whisper a profound truth into your subconscious. It whispers, when you finally fall into a dream tonight, you will possess the absolute knowledge that you are actively dreaming. It repeats the promise, when you cross over and dream, you will absolutely know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are dreaming now. Allow your awareness to gently, meticulously scan downward across the entirety of your face and the whole structure of your resting head. As it moves, actively invite absolutely any last, lingering pockets of stubborn tension to completely melt away and dissolve into nothingness. Command your facial muscles to completely soften, instructing them to surrender their shape entirely into the welcoming, plush fabric of the pillow resting right beneath them. Let your inner senses travel further down, moving deep into the muscles along the sides of your neck. Feel that same warm, cosmic current blowing gently, steadily downward, tracing a path directly into the heavy joints of your shoulders. Explicitly invite your broad shoulders to completely, utterly relax their posture. As they drop, listen closely as the internal current quietly whispers another fundamental truth to your spirit. It tells you there is absolutely nothing heavy or burdensome that you need to carry with you into the realm of sleep tonight. There is nothing to bring with you except for the pure, weightless gift of lucidity. Let that echo in your mind. There is absolutely nothing you need to carry across the threshold into sleep. Nothing at all, except for the power of lucidity. Follow that cascading wave of relaxation as it travels the full length of your arms, flowing all the way down until it reaches the very tips of your resting fingertips. In this space, you completely and unconditionally surrender every ounce of effort. There is absolutely nothing left in this waking world that you need to tightly hold on to right now. There is absolutely nothing left that requires you to mentally or physically grasp at it. As a result, your physical arms grow immensely, wonderfully heavy against the mattress. Your palms and your hands widen, opening themselves up completely to the vast energy of the universe. They lie there open, resting naturally and peacefully, perfectly positioned to gratefully receive the spectacular, vivid dreams that are currently waiting for you just over the horizon of sleep. Take the time to draw in a few more incredibly slow, deeply cleansing breaths, directing the flow of that air straight into the center of your heart. Visualize this powerful, glowing current of absolute ease and profound relaxation, actively pooling and collecting in the center of your chest, radiating a comforting warmth. Allow yourself to seamlessly melt into the completely natural, unforced biological rhythm of each respiratory cycle. Rest in the deep, comforting knowledge that you absolutely do not have to consciously force the air, nor do you have to try and control the mechanical action of your breath in any way. Your body's autonomous system is constantly, tirelessly supporting your life, providing for you with absolute ease and unyielding grace. Pay attention to just how incredibly light, how wonderfully open, and how deeply receptive your emotional heart feels in this very moment. Lean in and listen closely as your heart begins to quietly, confidently whisper its own powerful affirmation to you. It says, "I am fully, completely awake and aware within the deepest landscapes of your dreams." It repeats the vow, "I am beautifully, entirely awake within the core of your dreams." Slowly, let your focused awareness detach from your chest and sink heavily down into the soft expanse of your belly. Notice how your abdomen effortlessly expands outward and then relaxes inward, moving in perfect synchronicity alongside each passing breath. Any residual hidden tension, any tight nervous contraction lingering in your gut completely dissipates and vanishes into the dark room. It happens naturally as your core abdominal muscles finally, completely surrender themselves to the impending wave of deep sleep that is now visibly glowing on the mental horizon. Continue to sense this downward migration of peace, noticing the specific way that the dense muscles of your hips are currently softening and releasing their grip too. Feel your tailbone pressing down, solidly rooting itself back deep down into the firm, supportive earth that exists far beneath the structure of your bed. You continue to breathe in a manner that is incredibly slow, perfectly steady, and entirely rhythmic as you mentally track this warm, glowing current of ease and pure relaxation as it travels all the way down the entire length of both your legs. Your large leg muscles completely surrender their need to act. Your legs grow phenomenally heavy, feeling almost like lead. They are entirely ready, perfectly willing, and deeply eager to be completely restored and repaired by the incoming tide of deep, dream-filled sleep. As this wave of relaxation washes over your lower legs, moving all the way down to finally encompass your toes, Your extremities offer up a quiet whisper to remind your conscious mind of your ultimate goal tonight. They softly tell you, even while your physical, biological body remains perfectly still and rests heavily in this bed, your vibrant, lucid mind will be free to travel to the furthest reaches of the cosmos. The reminder echoes again. While your body deeply rests and recovers, your awakened, lucid mind will detach and travel without limits. Keep your internal focus locked firmly on your feet for just a few more slow, deliberate breaths. Really grant them the full, unquestionable permission to grow exponentially heavier and heavier against the mattress. They do not need to walk anywhere in this physical realm tonight. They fundamentally know exactly where they need to ultimately take you in the astral plane. The absolute only travels you will be embarking upon for the entirety of the coming hours will be entirely mental, moving exclusively through the spectacular, vivid landscapes of sweet, fully lucid dreams. You are going to completely drift off into a gentle, restorative sleep now. And I want to remind you of a crucial practice. When you finally do awake from your slumber tomorrow morning, I strongly invite and encourage you to immediately reach for a pen and write down every single detail of your dreams right away before the memories fade. Engaging in this simple daily habit will drastically, noticeably improve your brain's natural ability to recall your nighttime adventures. More importantly, it will continuously reinforce and significantly strengthen the delicate, psychological bridge that connects your everyday waking life to your profound, infinite dreaming life. As you allow yourself to drift off now, drifting deeper and deeper into the quiet dark, a continuous, gentle stream of positive emotions will begin to naturally flow directly through your fading consciousness. These specific, targeted feelings will act as a safety line. They will actively help you to carry the bright, glowing thread of mental lucidity all the way across the border and directly into the heart of your slumber. So, I ask you to simply melt gently and effortlessly into these affirmations as they wash over you.